Imagine this. It's the year 325 AD. The Roman Empire is still standing. Christianity has only recently been legalized, and church leaders from all over the empire are about to gather in one room. Their goal? To settle the biggest debate in Christianity's short history. A question so explosive that it's dividing believers everywhere. This meeting would not only shape Christian doctrine, but would influence the faith for the next 1,700 years. This was the Council of Nicaea. To understand why the Council of Nicaea happened, we need to go back a few years. For centuries, Christians had been a persecuted minority in the Roman Empire. But in 313 AD, Emperor Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, granting religious tolerance to Christians. This was huge. It meant believers could worship openly, without fear of persecution. But freedom brought new challenges. Without a single, unified leadership structure, different Christian communities interpreted Scripture in different ways. Disagreements began to form over what Christians actually believed, especially about the nature of Jesus Christ. And the biggest controversy of all, a debate known as the Arian controversy. In the early 300s, a priest named Arius from Alexandria began teaching that Jesus, while divine in some sense, was not equal to God the Father. Arius argued that Jesus was created by the Father, that there was a time when the Son did not exist. This idea caught on with many people, but it also sparked outrage. His opponents, like Athanasius, insisted that Jesus was fully divine, co-eternal with the Father, and of the same essence. This wasn't just a small theological disagreement. To many, it struck at the very heart of salvation. If Jesus wasn't fully God, could he truly save humanity? The debate grew so fierce that churches were splitting, bishops were fighting, and Constantine feared that this theological war could destabilize the empire. So he did something unprecedented. He called the first ever ecumenical council. In the summer of 325 AD, over 300 bishops from across the Roman Empire traveled to the city of Nicaea in modern-day Turkey. They came by horse, boat, and foot, some even bearing scars from past persecutions. Constantine himself opened the council. He wasn't a trained theologian, but he understood the political and cultural importance of unity. He urged the bishops to settle their differences and preserve peace. Inside the council chamber, debates were intense. Imagine heated speeches, long theological arguments, and probably more than a few raised voices. At the center of it all, the question, who is Jesus? After weeks of discussion, the council reached a decision. The majority of bishops rejected Arius's teaching and declared that the Son is of the same substance as the Father. In Greek, homoousios. This meant Jesus was fully God, co-eternal, and not a created being. To solidify this, they drafted a statement of faith, the Nicene Creed. It clearly affirmed the divinity of Jesus and laid the foundation for Orthodox Christian belief. Arius and a few of his supporters were exiled. Copies of his writings were ordered to be burned. While the controversy didn't end overnight, the council had made its stance clear. The Council of Nicaea was important for several reasons. It unified Christian teaching on the nature of Christ at a critical time. It set the precedent for church councils as a way to resolve theological disputes. And it showed the growing link between the church and the Roman state, for better or worse. The Nicene Creed is still recited in churches around the world today. Whether Catholic, Orthodox, or many Protestant traditions, this statement of faith connects believers across centuries. The Council of Nicaea didn't solve every problem. In fact, the Arian controversy continued for decades. But the Council's decisions created a theological backbone that still shapes Christianity. It was a moment where faith, politics, and history collided. And the result was a creed that has stood for nearly 2 millennia. So next time you hear the words of the Nicene Creed, remember, they were born out of fiery debates, imperial ambition, and the desire to define the very heart of the Christian faith. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Council of Nicaea. If you'd like to see more videos exploring the history of Christianity, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode.